Hello you. Today is the 14th May and it's raining outside. A perfect day to stay indoors. It smells amazing. I recently learned that the smell of rain on a warm day has a specific name. It's petrichor. Reading is great, but when life gets in the way, especially if you have a regular job that has nothing to do with books or reading, it's hard to find time to actually sit with a book. That's why I do listen to audiobooks while doing some easy work that doesn't require a lot of focus. I consume a lot of my books in this format, even if it's my least favorite way of reading a book. In this vlog, I'm reading A Farewell to Arms. It's my first Ernest Hemingway, and I chose it for two reasons. The first is because I love reading war novels. It's my favorite thing to read. I find it fascinating to read about the camaraderie and friendships and relationships people build during awful times, and there are no tougher times than war times. The second reason is because the story of Henry, the protagonist, draws largely from Ernest's own personal experience. Hemingway did serve as an ambulance driver for the Red Cross on the Italian front in the First World War around 1918. He was severely wounded and spent 6 months recuperating in a hospital where he fell in love with a nurse, much like the protagonist of Farewell to Arms. He wrote in his intro to Men at War, "When you go to war as a boy, you have a great illusion of immortality. Other people get killed, not you. Then when you are badly wounded the first time, you lose that illusion, and you know it can happen to you." When I read this quote, it totally set me up for the mood to start this book. I love how direct and straightforward the words are, and how obvious but poignant the idea is. And for the first 10 chapters, I really enjoyed his writing style, a minimalist prose, some repetitiveness that I found endearing. It literally felt like listening to a toddler describing what he's looking at.
The trunks of the trees too were dusty, and the leaves fell early that year, and we saw the troops marching along the road, and the dust rising, and leaves, stirred by the breeze, falling, and the soldiers marching, and afterward the road bare, and white except for the leaves.
Sadly, the ugliness of war quickly caught on to Henry, and it immediately turned from cute repetition to detached disillusionment, where the narrator became this empty shell that has been numbed by the horrors of war. Those were my initial thoughts on the first part of the book. Now come with me on this second day as I go book thrifting. This is my favorite library. They always have a vast selection of second-hand books in large bins outside, and even more second-hand and new books inside. Today I haven't even stepped inside yet. I've already picked up 7 books. I think I perfectly timed my visit as they were actually restocking paper blanks, a stationery brand I like. I get most of my notebooks from this brand. I like their paper quality, and their covers are replicas of famous books or arts. While looking around, I saw these beach towel clips and immediately thought they would make perfect accessories if you wanna cosplay Arietti. It was very hard trying not to buy all this beautiful stationery. Another section I really enjoy in this library is their illustrated book section. They are always stunning. Oh, and by the way, see this yellow sticker here? This means that the book is second-hand. And we do love a bargain. I will be making a separate video hauling all the books I got today and the ones I got in a book convention. Back home, after preparing and having dinner, I can finally sit and have some time to actually read the book. Yes, it's already 10:30. Before I start advancing in the book, what I like to do is re-listen to the audiobook marks I made on the track and retranscribe everything on my book to make sure I got all the parts, and even reread some of the chapters I missed or didn't focus enough on. Good morning, today is another day. Today is Thursday, a new sunny day. I've listened to 2 more chapters when I woke up, and now I am at chapter 30. The war got ugly, the writing got ugly. Well, I'm trying not to give any spoilers, so I will say that this book is divided into several parts. In the first one, we get to meet Henry in the front, where he also meets his love interest. So we have war with all its ugliness, but we also have the love plotline as a breather, as a little romantic escapade. Then in part 2, the focus shifts on the relationship between Henry and Catherine the nurse. We get away from all the action of war, so it gets a bit dull and boring. The dialogue started to actually irritate me. Where it was sweet at first with the repetitions and the silliness, it became flat out idiotic and quite inhumane. Henry no longer felt detached by the horrors of war, he now felt half-witted and cretinous. So was Catherine. And in chapter 25, which is where part 3 of the book starts, there is a shift back from the romantic focus to a more brutal depiction of war, where we go back to the front. So I tried hard to tell myself that the writing was the way it was because Hemingway wanted to just narrate things as they were. Just tell us what was going on and let us pass judgment on the morality of the actions taking place. But when it's bad writing, it's just bad writing. He literally repeats the word sleep 14 times in the same page, 31 times in the span of 3 pages. By the end of chapter 27, I wanted to throw away the book, so I just went to sleep. I didn't do a lot of reading during the day, because I had to go to the Mont Blanc Store to engrave a master-stroke pen I got as a gift to someone special, and wanted to first confirm that the choice was perfect for that person before getting it engraved. It was the first Mont Blanc I ever tried. Is it worth the price? There is no definite answer to that question. It really depends on what one values the most. For me, writing with it was a whole new level unlocked. So I might one day get myself one as well. Mont Blanc is celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Master-Stroke line, which is their classic pen collection. Perfect timing for getting it. In the store they had the Brothers Grimm edition that I really like with its gothic feel, but my favorite is the Marilyn Monroe one that mimics the actress's high heel. After that we just walked around the city and grabbed some quick fast food. By the end of the day, I finished reading the book, and unfortunately, the dialogues did not improve. If anything, they became even more cringy, automated, and too raw. If you've heard of miscommunication trope, I felt like Hemingway invented the negative miscommunication trope. I mean a conversation between lovers that's painfully direct and stripped of any human feel to it. It literally goes something like,
Do you want to see other people?
No, why should I?
I think you would want to see other people.
Do you want to see other people?
No.
Neither do I.
I know. You ought to get away so you won't be tired of me.
Do you want me to go away?
No, I want you to stay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Would you like to grow a beard?
Would you like me to?
It might be fun.
All right, I'll grow one.
It totally took out from the beauty of the story. I felt completely foreign to the plot. It didn't do justice to the very sad ending, which I believe could have me bowling if the writing didn't alienate me as a reader. Now, I have no masters in literature or any knowledge in the field. In fact, I created this channel so that I can read more books, have a platform to discuss them, and just have a more profound understanding of the novels I read. So I did some quick research and this is what I found. Ernest Hemingway is actually celebrated for his boldly declarative, direct prose style as opposed to his peers or other writers of his time who wrote in a more baroque style, a style of writing that is extravagant. Hemingway chooses a detached and almost journalistic prose style, using simple sentences and avoiding unnecessary adjectives and adverbs. His dialogues are concise to capture only the essence of the character's thought. He literally created the iceberg theory, or the theory of omission, which is a writing technique that considers the following. If a writer of prose knows enough of what he is writing about, he may omit things that he knows, and the reader, if the writer is writing truly enough, will have a feeling of those things as strongly as though the writer had stated them. I mean, what a lot of bullshit. Sometimes you just need to call a spade, or as they say in French, call a cat a cat. I personally believe, and that is coming from someone who just happens to grab a book and read it for what it is, that Ernest Hemingway just has weak prose, and it's okay. He gets the points of his story through. We do get the dreadfulness and treachery of war, the camaraderie or sometimes cowardice of soldiers, the safe haven someone might find in a loved one. We do get it. It's just, could have been an email kind of a situation. So, to sum up, this book is for you if you love war novels and don't care about beautiful writing or prose, if you want something easy to read and don't mind repetitiveness, or if you want to read about tragic and profound emotional experiences without too much imagery, allowing you to fill in the blanks and make it your own. On the other hand, this book is not for you if you like your prose rich and ornate and like to feel your characters' emotions through the lines, if you like detailed descriptions and imagery and you like fast-paced novels, or if you simply don't care about World War I. For me, I keep vacillating between 2.5 and 3 stars because I did enjoy some of it and would totally give Ernest Hemingway another chance. Welcome to another day. It's already Sunday. I want to take you with me to a book convention we had in the city called La Comédie du Livre. It was the last hours of the last day, but fortunately I had enough time to look around and discover new authors. This is actually something I want to work on, because usually all my favorite authors are long dead. I don't often read new released books, which is why this year I really want to try to find new favorite modern authors and read more of newly released books. And I'm curious to know if you have any modern authors recommendations. I would love to hear about it. So please leave a comment below and tell me what some of the recently released books you've actually enjoyed. For now, I believe that old books are just better, and that's why my favorite stand was the old books stand.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous informons que la Comédie du Livre fermera ses portes dans 15 minutes.
Thank you so much for joining me this week and watching my video. I hope to see you in the next one. Au revoir.